This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Welcome back. Did you know that stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the U.S., with one person dying every 4 minutes as a result? To learn more about the symptoms and how to protect yourself, we have Dr. Justin Puckett here this morning. How are you doing today?
Doing great, thank you.
So tell us a little bit more, what exactly is a stroke?
Well, a stroke is a brain attack, and so we really should think about it just like we think about the severity or the immediate call to action whenever someone has a heart attack. And so a brain attack is essentially when a part of the brain doesn't get oxygen, and whenever it doesn't get oxygen, those cells start to die. And when those cells start to die, whatever part of the body they regulated, it could be anything from muscle activity to speech to a whole variety of things, gets damaged to the point where it's the #1 cause of disability in this country.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the symptoms to look out for.
Sure. So there are a variety of symptoms to look out for, but primarily you want to be watching for any major change in numbness or tingling. Also, if you're having any weakness in a part of your body, especially if it seems to be one side more than the other, or really you should see one side lots and the other side none. But sometimes whenever you're having a stroke, it's kind of hard to differentiate that because maybe the processing part of your brain is not working well. If you have any vision changes, you might see it as a double vision or both eyes, but again, it's often a one eye vision change. And if you have trouble swallowing, because even whenever we have trouble with one side of the throat, not getting the right nerve sensation, that you can have trouble swallowing. Also, if you have any trouble walking, moving around, if you feel like you're going to fall, or if you're confused, those are all signs that you should call 911 immediately.
Now, there is like a test that we could do at home to kind of see if that's what we're really experiencing, right?
Yeah, so anytime you're thinking stroke, brain attack, whatever, you want to think about the FAST test. And so that's essentially, F is standing for facial, and so just having your smiling in a mirror or asking someone that you're worried about to smile. The A is with your arms, having your arms raised, and if one seems to wander around and drift away, then that's a concern. And then speech, if you ask the person to repeat things, or if you even hear yourself having trouble finding your words, or if you're repeating a sentence that doesn't make sense at all, those are all signs. And then T is a reminder for us that time is critical, and so at that point, if any of those three are positive, then those are all valid reasons to call 911 and get to the emergency department as soon as possible.
All right. Now, there's different types of strokes.
There's two major types of strokes. One is the most common, 9 out of 10, is ischemic strokes. And so ischemic meaning that there's a blood clot that travels to the brain from some point. It can happen from a heart arrhythmia or a blood clot in the body deeper into the veins. And whenever that little blood clot piece breaks off and travels to the brain, it can block the blood supply going to an area of the brain, causing a stroke. And again, that's the most common. The other type is hemorrhagic strokes, and in hemorrhagic strokes, hemorrhagic meaning bleeding, that an area of the brain, a blood vessel in the brain, actually ruptures and the blood leaks out. And so when the blood leaks out, it compresses an area and doesn't allow that part of the brain to receive blood supply as well.
Now, what are some ways to prevent, your risk of having a stroke?
Well, all of the healthy living things that we talk about as far as staying active, exercising, not smoking, maintaining good weight control, and then the most important is to control our blood pressure, because as our blood pressure builds up, then that increases the risk of us having both types of strokes actually. And then if you're at risk for any blood clots, or if you have a funny heart rhythm, atrial fibrillation, where the top parts and the bottom parts of your heart don't beat in synchrony, then those things can increase risk of blood clots, and we want to make sure that we're properly taking medications. And now we've got some really new medications. It used to be that if you were tied down to a blood thinner to prevent those blood clots, that you would have to be checking your blood pretty constantly to try to monitor how thin and thick your blood is. But now we've got what we call the novel agents, and so we've got a whole variety of medications that thin the blood just like the old Coumadin or warfarin did, but now we don't have to check for those blood levels because it's a work straight out of the box deal. Pretty interesting, and gives the people a lot of their time back, because that's a huge commitment to keep on top of that and to chase those numbers around.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at ktvo.com. We'll link up Dr. Puckett's information with complete family medicines if you have any questions or concerns. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.